So Samsung's Galaxy S20 Fan Edition and Google's Pixel 5 are two of the most compelling smartphones approaching the end of 2020 and have a lot to offer to potential users at a much more manageable price. In this head-to-head video, we are going to see which of these phones stack up to be the better buy and find out which is right for you. Let's get started. So starting with what makes this comparison so compelling in the first place. Price. At the time of this video, the S20 Fan Edition, which comes in a wide array of colors, including this cloud red here, alongside 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, is $700. And the Pixel 5, which comes in black, and this sage color here, with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, is also $700. I am hopeful that this pricing will drop over time, so be sure to check out the links in the description for the most up-to-date prices and to see if you can score any discounts by trading in the phone you currently own. Now, despite having similar price tags, there are a lot of differences between these phones that we need to unpack. Starting with what's included in the box with each device, Google is providing better accessories here with what in my opinion is one of the best feeling charging cables on the market, alongside an 18-watt fast charging brick, which beats out the 15-watt charger provided with the S20 FE. Having both phones unboxed and in hand, it doesn't take long to see and feel the physical differences between the two. While the S20 FE's weight of 190 grams and thickness of 8.4 millimeters isn't the bulkiest phone of this big smartphone era, it is a monster in comparison to the Pixel 5, which is much lighter at 151 grams and is 8 millimeters thick. We also have some different build materials here, with the Pixel 5 sporting an aluminum backing and Gorilla Glass 6 protecting the front, whereas the S20 Fan Edition has a plastic back and Gorilla Glass 3 on the front. I love that these new phones are foregoing the popular glass-backed designs, as I feel more confident when using these phones a lot on a daily basis, and I don't have to worry about the back of my phone shattering in the event of a drop. The overall designs of these phones couldn't be any more different, with my red S20 Fan Edition being one of the flashiest phones I have ever owned, with the glossy red aluminum frame sidings which extend to the front of the phone, and the cloudy backing which puts off different shades of red depending on the lighting, whereas the Sage Pixel 5 maintains its simple and straightforward design the whole way around the phone, with a couple bits of flair on the glossy Google G and power button. Despite their differences, I personally have nothing but great things to say about how both of these phones feel in the hand, and I can highly recommend either one of these phones from a strictly physical perspective. What's probably more important to you in your decision-making process are the differences in the displays, with the Pixel's Subway 6-inch display and the S20 FE's 6.5-inch display. The aesthetically pleasing symmetrical bezels and smaller form factor make the 6-incher an absolute delight to use, and I think it will be a fan favorite as time goes on, whereas the Fan Edition is a pretty self-explanatory scenario, with the larger screen providing a superior viewing experience at the expense of added heft and bulk. The S20 FE has a much more favorably sized hole punch cutout for that front-facing camera, which I prefer, and the positioning of the hole punches personally makes no difference to me. Another difference found here are the refresh rates of the screens, with the S20 FE featuring a 120Hz refresh rate display and the Pixel 5 having a 90Hz screen. Both the 90Hz and 120Hz refresh rates provide a much smoother scrolling experience than the standard 60Hz displays we are accustomed to, and honestly, in day-to-day average use, there isn't a major difference between the two. They have their pros and cons, with the 120Hz indeed being smoother, but it eats more battery life, which might make more people lean towards a Pixel 5. And it makes me wonder why Samsung doesn't offer a 90Hz refresh rate option for some middle ground between their 120Hz and 60Hz options found in the settings. Both displays get equally bright and can be seen in direct sunlight, and overall both displays handled all of my day-to-day use cases, including gaming on the smaller Pixel 5. Games like old school RuneScape have very small buttons, but I never had any issues with incorrect touches, and one of my favorite games, Stardew Valley, still looked good with the use of a Bluetooth controller, and I felt the screen is overall satisfactory for an occasional light gaming session. The S20 FE features a better overall gaming experience, and if you're at all interested in Xbox cloud gaming, I would go for the S20 FE every time, as you need as much much screen size as you can get, since you'll get hit with hefty bezels regardless of the smartphone you use. Regarding overall performance, the S20 FE does have a superior processor on paper, with the Snapdragon 865 performing better than the 765G found in the Pixel 5. But again, in day-to-day use, I am personally not noticing major differences between the two, and both are going to provide a great user experience regardless of what it is you are doing on your phone. Now, something that caught me off guard was the difference in the speakers on the S20 FE and Pixel 5. This is important to note because last year's Pixel 4 XL, in my opinion, had the best speakers of my flagship phone, better than that of the iPhone 11 Pro Max and Galaxy Note 10 Plus. So if you're expecting the same, if not better speakers on the Pixel 5, lower your expectations. The upper speaker on the Pixel 5 is underneath the display, which equates to very little sound produced in a supposed stereo speaker setup. Have a listen for yourself. Here on the Fit 2, opposed to the Fit that has two separate bands clipped on to the ends of the device. Galaxy Fit E, where it wraps around the device itself. And also another omission you'll find. What surprised me even more is that the Pixel 4a, Google's $350 budget offering, has better speaker performance than the Pixel 5. Have another listen. Again, in day-to-day use, the speakers were okay, but okay doesn't cut it when the S20 FE is putting out much more noise in addition to phones Google themselves offer at half the price. Another area in this comparison that surprised me, but this time in a good way, were the cameras on the S20 Fan Edition and Pixel 5. To my eye, photos taken by the Galaxy S20 FE look good and are comparable to the Pixel 5 here, keeping in mind, of course, that Samsung cameras in general will always saturate photos and amplify colors of everything captured. You will also capture more in your shots as the wide-angle lens of the S20 FE seems to stretch a bit further, and I absolutely love the 3x optical zoom, which offers great detail, and the 30x zoom is pretty good if you would need that to read a sign from far away or something. The Pixel 5 lacks a telephoto lens and zooms in as far as 7x. Looking at the selfie side of things, the two phones take different approaches, as the S20 FE provides a wide-angle option to include someone in the photo with you, whereas the Pixel 5 oddly offers an option to zoom in 1.4 times opposed to zoom out. The nighttime photography modes on these phones provide opportunities to take photos with very little light, as this inside shot with next to no light somehow magically becomes a decently lit photo with the phone's respective night modes turned on. The S20 FE is definitely bringing in more light to the photo. Whether or not it is color accurate to the subjects, I will leave that up to you, but an area that blew me away was photos of the starry night sky with the S20 FE, providing an excellent view of the night sky, whereas the Pixel 5 hurled out a blurred blob of a photo. All things considered, the Galaxy S20 FE is certainly a competent competitor to the Pixel 5 as far as photography goes. But when it comes to videos, the Pixel 5 is definitely superior. The Pixel offers lots of video stabilization options, which makes your videos look much better, which the normal stabilization mode on by default made for a very smooth video here, as I simply walked with my phone in my shaky hand, holding the phone up without any gimbals or stabilizers. The S20 FE, on the other hand, will be shakier despite having optical image stabilization itself, and the super steady mode, for whatever reason, seems to kill the lighting of the scene, making any stabilization gains a moot point. Here's the front-facing camera for the Google Pixel 5. See how it handles the sunlight as I go in and out of it. And here's the front-facing camera for the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. So after using your phone for all of the things I just mentioned, you will definitely have battery remaining at the end of the day on both of these devices, with the S20 FE packing a 4,500 mAh battery and the Pixel 5 housing a 4,000 mAh battery. The S20 Fan Edition boasts 25 watts super fast charging, but unfortunately you have to buy this charger separately, which I'll link down in the description, as I definitely recommend it for getting you close to a full charge in 1 hour. The Pixel 5, despite only being capable of up to 18 watt fast charging, can top up in not too much later of time. For those of you out there living the wireless life or looking to do so, both devices support wireless charging in addition to having reverse wireless charging, which lets you share the battery of your phone with your accessories like your truly wireless earbuds, for example. It's a feature that you'll appreciate when you need it most. It also certainly needs to be mentioned that both phones boast an IP68 water and dust resistance rating, so these can be truly used to their full extent in your daily life without fear of your device being compromised. It also goes without mentioning that these phones clearly have 5G connectivity, since at this point you seemingly can't escape 5G being thrown on the name of every product released nowadays, but you're also getting Wi-Fi 6 for an overall better connectivity experience for the future years to come. And when looking at the successes of the past, I am so glad that the Pixel 5 has brought back the physical fingerprint scanner to quickly get into your phone. The S20 FE is equally as quick with its fast facial recognition, but personally I loved the physical scanner on older devices, and I am more than happy to see it return here to the Pixel. So, which phone is right for you? There are a lot of differences between these two phones in addition to some great similarities, but all things considered, I think the choice is clear. If you're looking for an all-out smartphone experience where everything you do in your life revolves around your phone, the Galaxy S20 FE is your choice. If you're a techie like myself, then this phone checks all of the boxes for literally everything you could ever want out of a phone, while coming in at a much lower cost than the $1,000 plus flagship phones that Samsung has been getting way too comfortable with pricing so high. On the flip side, if all you're after is a super clean and streamlined smartphone experience with all the essentials you need out of an up-to-date smartphone here at the end of 2020 and extending into 2021, the Pixel 5 is the phone for you. There's just some things that can't be shown on a spec sheet, including the iPhone-like super smooth animations and navigating the Pixel in general being a joy with absolutely zero hiccups in general use, alongside a respectably sized display and a compact and easy to hold phone which feels great in the hand, and added software features which I forgot to mention earlier, like the camera balancer which helps you get the perfect angle for your shots. This comparison was eye-opening for me personally, and I hope it was for you too, considering the fact that the spec sheet isn't everything. And ultimately, two phones with identical price tags and different experiences both truly hold to their own and will provide a great value to consumers for many years to come. But what's your choice between the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE and the Google Pixel 5? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing to the Shane Symonds YouTube channel today and hitting that bell icon so you don't miss the next video. I hope to see you guys around for the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.